Hello, my name's Amari, and this is our summary and review of the movie One Night Stand, which is available on BT Plus. To begin, to summarize this film, since Marcus's injury, his sports career has been over, and while his wife Malia has been very supportive, including funding different opportunities to start businesses, unfortunately, just as Marcus' sports career began and ended tragically, so has every business that Marcus has tried to start. So now he spends most of his time either at home or hanging out with his friends, and unfortunately also gambling. Luckily, Malia makes more than enough money to support the household, which apparently costs $22 million. And while you can see that their marriage is definitely on the rocks, she's still willing to put in the effort to hopefully one day fall back in love with the man she knew, even though the man that she knows right now isn't really somebody who's likable. But to make matters worse, Marcus is very insecure, and in an effort to try to build himself up, he has affairs. But this latest affair doesn't seem to be somebody who's willing to be a one night stand, and that's what the central issue is in this film. So, getting to the review section, I want to say an on the fence topic and a low point rather than just one whole low point, because it's very rare that we just say something is trash and keep it moving. So, in terms of the on the fence portion, I feel like the setup for Marcus is something that could have made for a better movie, but they just didn't take that route. Because rather than make it so Marcus is this injured sports star who's flailing in any type of business he makes and is kind of struggling with what's his next move, his next chapter, how is he going to be somebody that deserves a woman who's making all this money? Instead, the film has it where Marcus is that generic, I failed in my career, I'm not this big star, I'm not the big time person in this relationship, the power dynamics aren't in my favor, so I'm going to be insecure, I'm going to cheat on my wife, I'm not even going to do as little as become like a good house husband and keep things clean, make sure the security system's running and stuff like that. And because of how much effort is put into Marcus, it's very frustrating to watch this movie, especially because as talented as what told Malia is and how much money she makes, everything revolves around Marcus. So because we see Marcus do all these things and gaslight her in a way, her efforts to save the marriage is frustrating. And then because we don't get to know her as an individual, it's not like we can just latch onto her and like love her and hope that when it comes to the villain doing their thing that she can be the last one standing. Her world revolves so much around Marcus and what he does that even this stuff about her being, again, this very successful woman, it's more so something to help you understand Marcus in terms of why he's so upset with his marriage and why he does the things he does in his life, rather than be something so that we could eventually see Malia kind of break off from him, whether it's through divorce, dating other people, whatever. Which leads to the low point, which is, even though this movie is an hour and 20 some odd minutes, because it doesn't have a hook and it often feels like it's meandering and it doesn't know how to end, it becomes a challenge to watch. For, again, there's no, between Malia and Marcus, nothing is there for you to really like care about who lives or dies. Marcus is kind of a bastard, so if he dies, he dies. And Malia is so latched onto him as a character that you feel bad for what she's going through, but at the same time, it's like, but you're not making the moves I need you to get out of the situation. And then when it comes to the villain, for most of the movie, they're just a shadow, and because the actor who plays them doesn't give menacing, it just feels kind of weird and kind of corny in a way. And granted, the person is like surely gonna murder somebody, but just their presence doesn't give that, oh my god, they're scary or frightening type vibe. It gives you definitely like crazy ex or crazy stalker, but not in a way where you don't think that Marcus or even Malia can whoop that person's ass. And then speaking of the ending, there's a handful of twists in there that feel so desperate in a way that I think the way I wrote it in the written review is that the way that this film is, it seems to look more so for the quantity of people reacting, speaking about it on social media in the hopes that because people think that this can't be that bad, that's how they plan to get viewership, that's how they plan to get good ratings, rather than just present a quality film that attracts the same amount, if not more attention. Which is why we say overall, when it comes to One Night Stand, on top of lacking a hook, it lacks a notable ending, and in a desperate attempt to save itself, it has these twist endings that I guess was supposed to be like shocking and supposed to really be notable, but unfortunately, because it lacks a build up to these endings and the film feels so thin, it doesn't feel like a reward for sticking around. It's just you decided to hope for the best, and unfortunately, by the end of One Night Stand, you just got the worst.